Look him now.
Yes.
Display mo triple grail cup ikat story blongor. We online lo grail boli sawe la meaning blood is cup. Lo blood blood Jesus is it?
Jesus uses this cup during the Last Supper.
Jesus symbol lo cup lo last supper.
Not all, one.
Oh.
We displaying it to have some.
Okay, and by me put him stop la lili kap na mix him binis sa. Okay.
God by kissing bekol, na kolimon strepel man Mary. All this fella kay man Mary sabe woklong painin God. Only let go close to long God belong Jacob.
Lord is the one time you come. Our good news, God, Jesus Christ, and to make you a redeem. Just you look him all, equal alignment, Mary, he come. Now we go on top of the mountain, and we sit down. Now a disciple belong in, he come again. Now Jesus is schooling one disciple also. Mama Mary is away, or is the promise true. No one something from God, and more he can have us. Or this man Mary by kissing or some plus something belong kingdom belong heaven. Or man Mary Christ the morning can mas God by making good well from all. Or man Mary saw it down in name belong all yet the morning can mas by God he give him all get a crown long all. Or man Mary like it to mas long behind him straight to la pass. Rises and lifelong Papa Leo. Huh? So Papa Leo is living on the life where we making him the planting mangali. So passing olive long. So let me know come up Santu. So only looks away long him. By him pray from it. Looks away from it. Now you begin. Movie when we go along this mark will come up something. The planting man more one can also Papa Leo. Some long time it or two Miss Angela. Or not a plan man Maria. You will travel more. You don't line from it like no place or Tumuna or country or Papa or Mama from it where you will look in like Kumari or Saint Jesus he talked about today. Or is not part time Christ inside of life more.
I give life in our time. Amen.
Lord Papa, thank you Lord for giving me blood, faith. One time on this last Santa Misa, Lord, thank you Lord, for the blood Christmas, you go about one time make blood, strong in me blood, you stay in me blood, and good plan and straight blood, think Lord you. Lord, really go work me from making, now Lord people Lord you. So now you had no prayer with now, that the out here Lord you now.
Pray from Pope Francis and staff would belong in. We pray.
I pray on the belong.
We pray on Bishop Joseph, now one walk belonging, now Christ on world together.
I pray on the belong.
Strongly holy, Divine Mary, and supporting forces, when they may pray.
I pray on the belong.
We pray, Lord, pray, remember.
God Papa, kiss him this flower, farm, you make him now belong on him, Morgeta Santo, or Santo is the one time you. Now they pull out long amamas, long life one more time, not to mitla believe, only like helping mitla long pray from all. Strong him with this pla believe, long mitla na kiss him back mitla. Mitla pray long name long Christ and mitla long mitla.
Amen.
Lord is the one time you pla.
Now what I say along you.
Let him up in mat long you pla.
May I be coming along.
You may take him God in Lord long to me.
And
Through ikut plan I straight, all time and all get a place. We plan.
Thank you, Lokam Blibla. Verbally, Blibla, skip plan, Blibla, not giving invitation. Thank you, Lord. One per person, Blibla, Blibla, come. Nah, Blibla, okay, nice, but Mr. Blibla finish. Ante Blibla. Belfin, na support Blibla. Blibla, but na. Yan, nakayimi ko Blibla. Kasi mo lagi ko. Cordial na buwan. Okay. Thank you.
The chair lady Lomipla, inside the local group Lomipla here, Wewak, so give him the talk go past him till party man Lomi. Okay, by me try to come up click MC blog. Slightly click group Lomipla. That's what time celebration Lomipla. Number one, something me like extending is like thank you. Chair lady talk pinis, mami makin. This la group local group la mi pla lo Wewak. Me welcome me pla all get done and me talk thank you. You know it is a pleasure to welcome all of you, especially those you came and you participated, you sang wholeheartedly in the church. Catechist Carol, even though you grow older, but savably the music heaven and married. And we really appreciate what you did today in the church to take lead in support of these representatives of Catholic women in our parish. We have the chair lady who is one of our daughters. One of our daughters who is also growing into grade. That's Naomi Paime, seated there. Thank you, Lord, presence to you. Thank you, Lord, Vero Nangru. Jennifer, our friend, long-time friend, also growing into grade for life. When we didn't make a commitment, we are still waiting. And all others, all of you who came and took part in the most important celebration, which is the Holy Eucharistic celebration. Me take him through, Tammy Gonzalez, now look him. I plan to stay with Monica, but God didn't want us to be here. He wanted us to participate in the Eucharistic celebration. So me plato. And with that, I'd like to extend my word of thanks to Crescencia and Jacinta, who worked hard so tirelessly to get this event organized. Though we tried to postpone and have it later, and we had a little bit of hiccups, but the God's Spirit was guiding, was up there. So we made it to this place. Thank you. 40 years. It's only 40 years. But we are thinking big for 50 years. That is the most important event. If any of us will be, we live as far as 50 years of grade, only God knows who will remain. but we see that something better will happen in 50 years' time. And with that word of thanks, I'd like to extend a word of thanks to our national IC who kept on reminding us that we need to celebrate. You must celebrate. And we kept communicating to tell you, Monica Lumine, that we will celebrate. And we have celebrated, we are about to go into the second part of this celebration. And that's to have this meal together with those friends of ours who turned up today. Even though the others are not here, Papua New Guinea Grail, they are not here, but they're celebrating in Manus. We extend our joy and this joy of celebrating together to them wherever they are. They're celebrating there, we are celebrating here today. And a special heart of thanks to our dear sister in Australia, and that is Sheila, the woman who came and worked so hard, tirelessly, coming up with activities to see that the Grail International had its roots grown also in Papua New Guinea and not just in other parts of the world. Sheila, we thank you that you made things to happen, and Grail in Wewak is still existing and still thinking of you and still remembering you today. Thank you, Sheila, and thank you all other great sisters in the international community of the Grail, as well as especially to Grail Australia for being so near to us and to see that we still grow. We still send the roots deep into the earth, and we still have the shoot of Grail, and we need to grow up and branch out. We did branch out to few centers, but we will still have to progress further so that Grail in Wewak must grow. Grail in Wewak must prosper. Grail in Wewak, its Grail activities will have to prosper so that we get other women in, younger women in, to see that Grail in Wewak will not die. Grail in Wewak will stay, because this is the seat of Archbishop Leo. He was the one who brought this laity group into our diocese, and he did that through Sheila Horton and other great sisters who came here to see what was life in Papua New Guinea. And so we see that, we want to see the Grail growth in Papua New Guinea, especially in our diocese here, because this fly enhanced place to starting work long Grail. Thank you very much. Tolong Monica, go ahead, to make him some little talk cup, and then the person who's a merry staff all time, they got more experience, lo mitla, lo work, na experience long em, lo go live in live on the Narpla community, lo work lo Grail, and by talk little, adding little more on top, lo talk long Monica presence here. And we are privileged still to have her around here all the time. Yes, thank you. Okay,
Thank you all that you're welcoming you know that Juliet can find a place here. Please come inside.
Let's proceed down in staff. Next place on Janet. Yes, Janet is here. Yes.
Christine, tama mo sister kan be part of our group society. Not the history, but nila October, the Joint Foundation Day and 1st November, I'll come up the one in Wilson. and the symbolism of the cows. The history of that, it's a big thing we try and put it together, but we know pretty more better in how far it is American, the founder, come inside now. And this information is collected by a book called The Reading Blog Grail, The Reader. Now, this called information blogger, the Rachel Donors was the one who put this information together so that they can give it all the married the world, all the different countries. What is grail, why this calf, we call the Holy Grail calf and all this. So I'm bringing this plan of why every 1st November we're going to come as come together to celebrate the feast. So she made it available for us, this law that the document, so we've got privilege to like that one kind message also. So this is the message now, and by me giving go out like at least if you're looking why since then at the one prayer feast day. Now you all the time I looking what's in the really this is the root of everything. 1921 for the Japan Gallican. 1921 to 1981 and we just celebrating long time. Now come 1996, 1994 I mean. This Wewak Grail come out in the world. Through that 1994, Australia brought Grail Papua New Guinea into existence. So this card now that we like talk here. This Grail Foundation Day, the symbol of this card. It is very special when we grow grail. Time it later said, boom, it's overflowing. The cup's now empty, but empty giving the club plenty. Inside the flower. There's so much sacrifices we put in. Plenty good plus something we put inside. But you know also you have a very uniform number, you must serve and explore something no. Grail, we're gonna serve on the uniform, we can win and grail. Where there's people, there is grail. That's what we around and I pick up man and we must stop long. In the community we live, tapos we grail and what we must work it. That is how the grail is. So we starting this first story with Rachel Donors. Let us celebrate November. And this was in 1994, November 1st. The Grail and All Saints Day. There was once, long ago in lowlands, near the North Sea, a small band of young women, some 4 or 5 of them, who together felt inspired to try out a new kind of life, a God-centered life, free, joyous, and in the service of the great ideal. So far, this sounds like a fairy tale or a dream. What they had in mind, however, was far dreamy. In fact, it was quite concrete. As Christian women, they wanted a life of total dedication, not behind walls or under a veil, as it has been big with many years ago, but in a free and a full encouragement in the modern world. Engagement, in the modern world. A deep and sustaining interior life would be their support. With that in mind, they formed a strong community and they set out with determination. The year 1921, the Feast of All Saints on November 1st was chosen as the foundation day. In that historic and now almost mystery moment, we Grail women of 1994 have our roots. Each country, of course, knows their own great beginnings in history, and every one of us personally can remember the moment when she felt sure the Grail is my path. Besides those moments, it is right to call to mind, from time to time, very first beginning when the Grail seed was sown. From that recognition, a tradition has sprung up in the Grail world to celebrate November 1st, All Saints Day, individually and communally, in sincere gratitude. This year, that was the year that they have celebrated. This year, we should mention a special feature for the first time a small but healthy young group, recently born in Sweden and calling itself Great Splashes. We will join in tradition, acknowledging and strengthening their share in our common history. To them and to all of us, happy Feast Day. Thank you. Okay, now it is the cup. I should have had 3 or 2 other people, but let's call us sharing tassel. What? You will need this one. Mysterious object. And these are the objects that I want to talk about today. That grail, a mysterious object, in the lands and myths, in the legends and myths with which we are familiar, is often described as a chalice, a vessel of beauty and charm. Usually we centered our thoughts on the stories woven around the object and on the interesting and mysterious personalities and their adventures we meet. Yet to that, even to the object itself, its shapes, its uses, its function can be seen as a beautiful symbol for the quality of our life. Here we consider 3 elements which are functions of a cup. These 3 elements are receiving, containing, and sharing. Scholar, we go receiving.
Looking at the shape of the chalice, we can be struck by its emptiness, its readiness to receive, even its eagerness to receive. Receptivity can be considered as an innate quality of our whole earth. Fields and meadows stretched out wide open to sunshine, rain and wind, and for the soft fall of sea. Branches of trees and bushes reach out, waving and waiting for the new and the fresh of the atmosphere. Birds and flowers naturally turn to the light and open their petals to receive it. Together with moisture, pollen, and all that makes for fertility of life. Tiny newborn birds thrust, unfortunately, unprofessionally, beaks wide open to receive food. Looking around in nature, we notice all this openness and eagerness to receive. And what about receptivity among us humans? Aren't we on the receiving end from the earliest moment of our existence? Food, drink, care, protection, consolation, instruction, you name it. Material substance as well as spiritual nourishment. We need it. We crave it. And if we are not receptive, no life is possible. How beautiful to see the joy, the eagerness with which a child receives, eyes lightening up, mouth smiling, hands stretched out in pleasure, hope, and trust. there is a certain art in receiving well. How painful, on the contrary, when there is refusal or lack of appreciation. To be truly receptive is not always easy. It sometimes asks for waiting quietly, like fields in spring, for conscious openness to recognize the gift and the moment for tactfulness too, and often for humility to recognize our need and for trust that the cup will be filled in due time, even when and while its emptiness has made us suffer.
Then something cannot be empty. That is why we have to receive it and keep it in the container, in the cup to contain whatever treasure that we found. Our Grail cup is not only a symbol of receptivity, it also speaks of the capacity to contain and store. We might think again of our motherhood. How in the big and small hellos, over crust and deeper still, in caverns and craters, she stores the precious moisture continuously received. Our oceans and riverbeds teem with forces of life and growth. How in the multitude-shaped world of animals and plants, powers are stored. How every altar contains energy. The whole world, the whole universe, is a storehouse of treasure, and we are part of it. We all receive, and we all store. In the cultural development of humankind, so scientists tell us, it was in the Neolithic period, the Stone Age, that our ancient parents began to store. They invented containers, earthen pots, oven baskets, later also vessels of bronze, to store the food and the good things they have gathered. Then mysteriously, spiritual things too began to store. It was not in books or writing yet, but in that wonderful vessel, the human memory. Dreams, events, stories, thoughts, knowledge, it all began to be stored in the consciousness and subconsciousness of the human race. Each member becoming a vessel rich in container. All of us who read this and ponder in these rich vessels, rich in container. We put in the container, it's contained in there. Now we have to share it out. So that is the symbol of the cup. Filled as it with wonderful things, we cannot let that cup stand stand useless, barren, isolated. You read? No, that's right.
It has to be shared. We have to be shared. Sharing makes us into a community.
We partake in each other's cup, in material as well as spiritual goods.
It is a true community, all share, and this means for all of us receiving and giving.
In turn, we are receiving or sharing.
It is a kind of path to find a balance here.
Maybe we prepare to receive, maybe we are happier or more satisfied when we give?
Both have their appropriate moments.
If receiving is always easy, sharing may also ask much of us.
To be open towards others, to share in the other person's experience and let her share in mine. To know when to listen, when to speak, we have to overcome self-centeredness, shyness, pride, maybe.
But we also find great joy in sharing, in an extent of a deep level, in the revelation of beauty and depth. Also, great sympathy with the suffering in the life of friend. Sometimes we are awed by the content of the heart.
Receiving, containing, and sharing.
Three aspects of our life symbolized by the Grail cup. The cup of which, when we think, when we grateful pray in Psalms 23. And then I would like Mommy.
For the first Sabbath, a Psalm of David. The earth and all its fullness belong to the Lord, the whole world and all that dwells in it. For he has founded it upon the seas, and he has prepared it upon the rivers. Who will ascend to the mountain of the Lord, and who will stand in his holy place? The innocent of hands, and the clean of heart, who has not received his soul in vain, nor sworn deceitfully to his neighbor. He will receive a blessing from the Lord, and mercy from God his Savior. This is the generation that seeks him, that seeks the face of the God of Jacob. Lift up your gates, your prince, and be lifted up, eternal gates, and the King of glory shall enter. Who is the King of glory? The Lord who is strong and powerful, the Lord powerful battle. Lift up your gates, your prince, and lifted up, eternal gates, and the King of glory shall enter. Who is the King of glory? The Lord of virtue. He himself is the King of glory.
With the Holy Spirit, as it was in the beginning, is now, and ever shall be, world without end. Amen.
Thank you. And this is where our history ends, and now it will be our history of Wewak in the Papua New Guinea from 1981 to 2021, 40 years. So now it's going to go to this collaborative place.
Okay. Local history and Blomipla now today. So, maybe call him one pla hapia or one something me got. Okay, and by giving explanation of this plan because I'm almost sabi. Me know that plant is sabi of this plan. So, local history Blomipla and by start Same 1981 is coming up long. 2021 now together is 40 years lo mi plalo. Yeah, lo we work now. Ose papa ne bini onge. So you me ama mas ose. Em kama em stablon plata. So mi lusim long susa em baloko long. When I'm something mi plagat, I'm by explain. No problem.
First of all, this year we are supposed to celebrate all the Grail countries together in Russia with Pope Francis gathered with us to celebrate 100 years. But then we have problems with coronavirus and COVID-19. That is why the national team prepared to every country should celebrate their own in their own countries. So that is why this year we have lots of celebration here in the diocese. When I was at the Paris leadership meeting, they said, SVD priests are going to celebrate 125, Legion of Mary 100 years, and I don't know who else, Rosary Sisters 70 years. So we add on Grail also, Grail is 40 years, because our IC member came back and said, because of COVID-19 problems, so they cannot travel anywhere. So they asked, we were to celebrate because they were the first people to make commitment. Okay, now, commit to ourselves. First, we were creating women commitment to place in 1990, after months of intensive cooperation with Sheila Houghton. This took place after their involvement in program and activities. Total number of members were 40. I don't think that was more than that. Those ones in the photo. Okay. Anna Pilon from Manus was here with us. From Wewak, she went back to her area in Manus. She started Grail there, and her husband started Legion of Mary here in Manus. In 1993, she invited me to go and give them formation to Manus units. That's in 19. And then 1994 we gathered in Lake. Yeah. That's where those one I prepared in Manus with the other European Mosby, they made their commitment. Because Wewak was the first group. First group in here because we were started by the group with Sheila, Jill and Jenny came out with the invitation from Brother Genuti and Catholic Education also. That time, a big number of students in St. Mary's dropped out, but now they call them school university. They were dropped out, and they were the ones brother is worried about. I'm all starting basketball passing this time. Ako, makapat, still lang what gusto mo. No, ano something, biscuit, just a biscuit. Or whatever, you know. The shop for Pilasim would always something is display. Okay, these people when I'm things. But again it was so worried and she said, he said, like Sheila to come back because they know Sheila's work and experience and I keep here in Wewak Grail for a long time. That's it. That is why they invite her with two other women accompanied her, Jenny and Jill. They came to run the program for urban and awareness program. So at the same time, the Grail is starting with 1980. Started in 1981 with her group in the urban and awareness, and we have programs for Bible, meditation, reflection, sharing, and we have program ourselves fortnightly. First week meetings, and that week for formation program going. That's how Great Papua New Guinea stood up till 3 years stood up until this day. Today we have celebrated. Sorry, move on. Move the paper. Yeah. There was no commitment until 1990. 1990, everybody come in for programs and activities and whatever became known. Was Crow was here. She studied and see these women working very hard to introduce Grail to the community and in this town and in this diocese, that they are ready to make their commitment and come into the international Grail, to become international Grail. So every meeting was, we went to IC meeting in international Grail and said, oh, I want to tell you a group that we are working, Australian Grail working with. They're very good at everything. They know everything, but they don't ask for recognition. But I brought their message that they should be recognized. They want to become Grail International. So at that time, we made our commitment in 1990 with Bishop Ray Gallis, and then we have IC Rep. So I was the first IC Rep. I went to Philippines for sub-council meeting, and it's a tradition in the Grail that one country wants to become international Grail with the IC member. There should be there should be somebody to come with as candidate law supporting us. So Ross Maule went with me to Philippines. They divided the international Grail meeting. European Grail women went to Africa, and the American women came to Philippines with Australia and Papua. 1991, went to first meeting, council meeting in Portugal. Then we had a lot of, we are planning and talking and discussing about global things now. Culture of care, whatever, environment, whatever. We're talking about such things that HIV was already grown in many parts of Africa and others. So some of them were talking about how to prevent HIV and all that. So those are the issues we discussed in 1993. Maule and Wate went to America for IGA. IGA and people meeting long, open programs long, 5 years. They went, because most of the things were already done in 1992. Poor ladies, they didn't know what to do. Because down here, we were, Papua New Guinea. We don't understand where. We think ourselves, that's the time of meeting, the Rwanda was selling. Later, Christian said, you start. You go finish. Lara Wate go on them. But I want to tell her that I've been in the IC meeting and I talked and I discussed everything, the work for 5 years. But I'm alright. But they're on the cross-side. But what I never say anything that I don't understand much about Grail in big meetings and whatever. She just said she wanted to go, so they came back with nothing, not what we got. Sorry, I'm just like the mister. They came back, and when they were there, they asked them, who is the Christian IC member? They said, oh, Christian. Rose said, no, I'm taking I am the new IC. So that is why they got lost. They don't know what to share and discuss with them in the big meetings. So that is our first mistake in Papua New Guinea. Okay, pick for something and now we will celebrate. Sheila, I'm reminding me. I'm bringing last time I'm asking, Christian said, Mary Blamba, celebrate. Yes, we're going to celebrate. Because IC didn't even ask us how are we going to celebrate? Where are we going to get it as a PLG group? Just said, oh, we're blow him commitment finish, we'll go. She communicated with scholars. Scholar came and said, that's a baby story. We are women and we are grown-ups and we know that we are PNG, we are not Mosby or Rabaul or Manus. We are PNG, we are one people as women movement. Grail, first of all, only come out movement down, Pian and laity. What one can connection or laity. That one, they are NGO. And then Grail got lots of nice leadership work. That is why United Nations CKC calling GLUN program one. GLUN Grail linked with United Nations. So Grail got really big role work inside long. Couple aspects. First of all, movement, laity, NGO, and Grail linked with United Nations. So, when I think back, I said, no, we have to celebrate here and we get them a little bit history about our foundation here. And then we're not just reflect and pray and send what our celebration to international trade. No. We must celebrate in a mass and we come over here and we look back from our activities and programs from 81 to 90 we made our community. So here we are to celebrate. Thank you. Thank you.
Here, for the explanation of certain important events that have taken place in the grave here in Wewak, Papua New Guinea. Okay, just to go back, very important, most importantly, we want to extend our gratitude to Sheila Potter. Secondly, Archbishop Leo Akpel and Bishop Raymond Callis for supporting this movement here. They recognize the importance of having Grail here because some of these first grade women were women who grew up here at Wirui, where Bishop Leo and Bishop Callis knew them very well. People like Mariawate herself and Teresa Gule, they were young girls here. And then Crescencia became popular because of her work with Wantov Press, Wirui Press, Wantov newspaper. So Workflow Grail start. And then and move on, ego enough today. Another thing I want to really stress and highlight here is the work of urban awareness that Sheila, Horton and the other great women, they came, this initiative that they came and they exercised it here. Now, Kaikai will display today this urban awareness program. Some of these students who attended this program are big businessmen here, people like Nawaf. And we have Patricia here with family tree. And we have Monica here who have climbed up from Norway up onto the Department of Community Development. And probably Janet here who has worked in the diocese. Now Janet has grown from there. And this work of urban awareness was not a waste. In Karen Bitla Kaikaya, and that Kaikai Mito Bitla Kaikai because the roots have grown up. Not only supporting Mipla people or ECP. Business lo now give him service lo plant man. Now you look in Patricia now and help him Mipla. The work lo man. Look in Janet lo diocese. How I'm helping Mipla or get that. Look in Monica and work. Now look in work lo Grail. And be Plasantis. Look in Wate and starting kindergarten. She worked with kindergarten, started our elementary school down there, but because of some reasons, Emino stopped. And we have another woman, that is Christine Paso. Christine Paso has a history. One Mary, and Sana, she went to the police, give me license. I want to sell beer so that I can start Creacompal Elementary School. If you don't know the history, we talk today. She stood up. She went. Kabilo had to give her the license to sell beer. Na Creacompal Elementary School today. I'm stop ya. Na ilukol beginning of school on. And one Mary. And Son Armstrong was a one Grail Mary and making this flower. She talks and she laughs about it. But this is all the courage she had. See the courage she had to do it. Other initiatives Grail put in. All Mary had the slowly. Only go, only look, all sit down, one plan meeting, all talk. We need to start.
First National Formation.
First National Formation. Thank you. We need to start a day high school in Wewak. And they went. After discussion, President Sia and the others, they went to see Bishop Raymond Kellis. Am I right? Bishop?
That Bishop was good. That was Catholic Bishop.
Well, that was Catholic bookstore. But one of the initiatives was also the high school down here. And now we have this high school.
That is Christine. Her daughter,
Mhm.
she was 5 there.
Yes.
Now I'm talking, oh, she with other parents in town, in the law school. Only talk. Diploma she got one class. I school long here. By all St. Mary's all get up. Martin Lawn was going to just like. Randy Thomas, Sensible, Pull-up, Yarobos Pull-up, all going to pray in Randy. Drop out, that's a long time. So, only go looking Bishop and Christine Paso, and there's some look. Mama, only go. Go looking Bishop. Bishop, this is school now, down the day. Bishop, yes. We can give him crown. I said, we have money lagi. No, my lord, we are doing the talking. We are doing the talking to find money in that school. She really, it's Bishop that thank you for giving us the land, but we are doing some work to help Maris brothers to start that secondary school. And then she was the first. Christine Basso was the first board member for 7 years. Time beginning lang ay mandam tamu lang teaching. My mother here worked very hard with the great women support Maris brothers to build this school. That's it. See?
Thank you.
One Mary got potential long on. The work hard lang helping looking for something. The schools, the community, one of my prestar. The Catholic bookshop too, the formation group from the bookstore. And then on our place the group from me, or bishop or the we walk the pastor secretary. Present siya kami lang ito ni Gam lang ito. Present siya. Pag may Gam ito la bookshop yan, no, I think I said one of on you walk around to newspaper, you saw it. Yes, we can order in books. No one are managing money. There's treasurer in here, brother Alfred. He will work with you. You work is something and bring the money. That's true all of that. Relative will give us. We blow up in 1991 Bible, publishing Bible, the father behind it come inside. Sana 20 kina. Wala niya may plastic. People don't lalas. We were dashes of gata. Plus we want a long campaign. I made 10 million, you see, before I went to Africa. From 1991 to 1991. That's why Bishop, Bishop Kellis was so happy, and he said that rundown house, you have to maintain it and yours, and give me the ground mo lang ha. Bishop, thank you to look after you and made already, just for the Bible only. As well, Napla and organization. Bishop, look, that looks already. That's why I'm on the 5,000.
Thank you, Press. Okay, mi na pimolga tato so mi go say legally group we do have challenges, more challenges today. Some of our main challenge lumikla, I say medication, M1 plan, technology, sabe kain senisi kama, say mikla to go down. This is a challenge for us. We have to try and keep up. Funding among the challenge. Now we see our house and talk here. We need funding, more formation to get more young women to come in. And so the membership lo mi plato and go weekly call get that challenge lo mi plato. Our dream, though we are growing old, but we are still dreaming dreams. And we do dream big dreams. And this main big dream of ours is to see that we establish a social training center. So this social training center, we hope to facilitate skills training in it for our women as well as other women in our diocese. So big dream and so mitla go down, but dream is there, we're still dreaming. Okay, our way forward, we want to see that all of us here, Wewak Grail Mary, we need to be equipped with the present changes, membership to grow, or with current changes that are taking place. That we are also experiencing. The world at large is experiencing. Many changes are taking place. Na mitla too work lo experiencing now. Mitla look this plan. We need to equip ourselves a bit more. I'm also my final word long mitla. So how it will happen, only God knows. But Papa sabe. Maski en time of December, something by come up. No time and start. I'm setting time over something, no start, and setting time or something that things. Life and grow, life and finish. So the Wewak Grail, we want to see that it was something of the growth. The growth of the grail in Wewak. When I present our semana, say more grow. Wewak or Santa Mary Domicla style mostly nothing Narapla Mary, Mary is to peace. Oleh to start of group long mostly. No kat lo Narapla, Limsal, oleh by start. Manus Rabali yes, and Mary Lapa. But hopefully with your support and prayers, the grail in Wewak, and by sending and by starting people face from you. That is our hope. So thank you very much, all of you, for coming. With that, I am finishing this day. Though we don't have decorations to show that we are celebrating, people are something, we celebrate deep within our hearts. We celebrate in here, not external. And our sisters who are born, we pray that they are celebrating in heaven with us. And we know if Teresa is here, you will see there is dancing in action. But we know she's doing that in heaven. So we thank you for coming. We plan on us to come. And our brother is here, who is taking the information and by helping. That is also a challenge. And we will share our little meal together. Feel happy to share seed. Thank you, our daughter, for coming up. Donna, Mama, the three of them are celebrating in Rabaul. They just informed me that Sister Watts, Albina, and Angela Samba. So we wish them all the best. So, we just are in because we start one thing yeah. So we will celebrate now triple with their families. They're celebrating it today. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you all for coming.